Okay, welcome to a new week in digital learning and communication class. And this week we are actually moving into a new unit on synchronous digital communication. Synchronous means live. So that means that everyone must log in and participate at a certain time. And asynchronous before, what we've talked about previously to this, is not live, meaning that you can do work on your own time. An example of that, of course, is your flipped classroom lessons, which you have submitted. And of course, those are asynchronous because the student can watch them at any time. Although there is a deadline for watching them, they can watch them at any time before the deadline. But synchronous communication is different in that you have to actually have everyone log in at the same time, and there's some back and forth conversation that can happen with this type of digital communication. So synchronous digital communication. And by the way, I'll get to grading those flipped classrooms that you submitted within the next few days. So just watch for feedback on those as it comes in. So this week, October 10th, by the way, happy Native American Day. So it's October 10th, and you're going to start reading on the textbook, in the textbook for Chapter 5, and then there's also a Creating Social Presence article that comes from the literature on digital communication and synchronous communication. We'll have a live session this week, so on Wednesday at 5:30 we'll meet and talk about some of the assignments that are upcoming, some more depth than what I'm going to give you in this video on the different assignments. So in this actual unit, there are two assignments, one for graduate and one for undergraduate. So I'll talk about the particulars of those as we get going here, and in that live session especially. So we welcome you to attend that synchronous live session Wednesday, October 12th at 5:30. You can just click on this link to attend and be a part of that session, and I'll introduce those assignments as well as some other concepts related to that. If you are unable to attend the Wednesday live session, that is okay. I will be sure to record it and then provide it so that you can review it later. And so you'll be able to watch the whole thing afterward. But it is good to be a part of that if you can. That way you can come and ask questions and participate. Then you're going to look at learning synchronous tools right here, and it's going to explain how to do things like Talkie, how to set up Google Hangouts, present and collaborate, and getting started in Skype. So there are just some introduction to some of these tools that you might use for your digital communication assignment. And for Collaborate, those of you who are undergraduate, you'll want to for sure pay attention to that one. Those of you who are graduate want to pay attention to the other ones and choose one to do your synchronous lesson in. And then there's a presentation about this concept of social presence that you will have read about a little bit in your readings, and the presentation helps you to keep that knowledge. And then social presence in digital communication discussion board this week. So this week you want to be sure to provide some tips for practice and distance learning that an instructor might use to increase social presence. So again, you'll be watching about social presence and reading about that. So now you can post a little bit on the discussion board about this concept of social presence. Describe how these 3 tips would help increase social presence in a distance learning situation, and then respond to at least 2 other students' posts. And I anticipate that not everyone's going to post the same tips for social presence because there are a variety of ways to support it in distance learning. So that's an opportunity to again share with your peers and respond to other people's posts. So that's basically the work for this week. We are building up, however, to the synchronous learning assignments, and those are due October 29th. So you've got a little while. And there's a separate one for graduate students and a separate one for undergraduate students. Before in the class, there were 2 for graduate students, but I've simplified things because I think that this will work a little bit better, so that there's only 1 assignment for graduate students to submit, and there's only 1 for undergraduate students to submit. So you just have to do 1 synchronous lesson, no matter whether you're a graduate or an undergraduate student in this class. And just to show you the difference, well, I'll just point out the difference, and I'll tell more particulars in the live session this week, but the difference is that the graduate students have an opportunity to use some of the free and online tools that are available to us, like Talkie or Skype, and that you don't have to record your lesson. So instead you just have to fill out a worksheet that gives you the information about what the lesson included and what you learned through the process and so forth. And then the undergraduate version is a Collaborate lesson. You're going to use Collaborate Ultra, which is this new tool that we've been using for our live sessions in this class. And you'll use that to present to a group of students or to a student. And then you'll record your lesson and share that with me, and I'll be able to view that lesson and kind of give you some, well, I won't have to necessarily give you a lot of feedback on it, but I might. But you won't have to fill out as much in the worksheet as far as how the session went or what you included, because I'll be able to watch it instead. So those are some of the differences, and the reason why those differences are there is because I don't want to overlap with other previous assignments that I've already given to some of my undergraduate students. Also, probably a big question that's in your head about these synchronous lessons is, who is my audience for this synchronous lesson, right? Who do I have to present these to? And that really is up to you. I realize that you probably can't do this if you are a practicing teacher right now. You probably can't do this to your class. It's probably not practical to be able to implement this to your class. So instead, it might be good to choose somebody who you know, and maybe it's a group of 1 or 2 students that you know. You'll really only have to do it to one, and have a session with them, teaching them some concept. And it could be, a lot of people do it with a relative, somebody they know who lives at a distance. Maybe they can teach them a special concept and help them to learn that concept. Maybe it is a student of yours who's willing to come to a live session outside of class, but it doesn't really have to be to your class. So it can just be, you can choose somebody that you know. But I do recommend choosing someone that is within the same kind of area that you would teach. So if you're choosing a lesson objective for 3rd graders, it'd probably be good to find a 3rd grader that you know that could come to this short session. Now again, the length of time that you have to teach isn't very long. On the graduate assignment, I believe it's 20 to 30 minutes, and on the undergraduate, I think it's only 15 to 20 minutes for a session. So be aware of that. Find someone who can come for just a short session, 15 to 20 minutes or 20 to 30 minutes, and listen to your lesson and participate and give you a little bit of feedback as well. And you should be fine to go on this assignment. So more information will be coming in the live session, and if you can't attend that on Wednesday at 5:30, I'll provide the link, of course, to view that after it's over, view a recording of that session, so you can see what the assignments are all about and how to go about creating those or completing those synchronous lessons. All right, well, I think that's all for today, so thank you and have a great week.